Growing fallout over Joe Biden's DOJ and their decision to hand down yet another indictment against former President Trump over the sham January 6th investigation this time. Our next guest was also a target of this witch hunt. Tom Fitton writing, quote, "I was harassed for hours by Jack Smith grand jury, and his anti-Trump prosecutors argued with me about challenges to the 2020 election, including whether or not I watched Trump's election night speech. Having witnessed firsthand their abuse of power, no surprise these partisans now want to arrest Trump on political charges. This is a dire threat to the rule of law," and it is. The president of Judicial Watch and author of Republic Under Assault, Tom Fitton, is joining me now. I've said it quite often. Thank God for Judicial Watch, and nice to have you here, sir. Julie Kelly says she thinks the DOJ is aiming for pre-trial detention of President Trump, making sure the top contender for the White House can't get his message of Biden corruption out there. Given your experience with Jack Smith's team, do you think they're desperate enough to deny Americans a choice in the next election?
Well, it would be consistent with their position in the Mar-a-Lago case, which seeks the trial and presumably the jailing of Trump by the end of the year, prior to just around the primary season. So it wouldn't surprise me if they were aggressive here in D.C., a much friendlier anti-Trump group of judges up here than there in Florida. And this is as I mentioned in the tweet, I mean, this is obviously a partisan investigation. I sat there for hours. They came in. Initially, they said, "We want to talk to you about the Mar-a-Lago documents." And then the day before the grand jury testimony, they said, "Well, we have a few minutes on this January 6th issue." It turned out it was 3 hours on election debates, and it was just argument and debate. And I remember thinking, why am I being harassed about First Amendment protected activity? It was like being stuck on CNN for hours or spending all day being on Twitter arguing with leftist reply guys. It was a partisan operation. I didn't understand what the basis for the investigation was. And the idea that I was being questioned on my tweets and about whether I remembered looking at Trump's speech before a federal grand jury, to me, just showed you just how awful the justice system has become under Garland and Joe Biden. And by the way, this is Joe Biden's investigation. He's the president. He's authorizing this. All this power flows from the presidency. And if he wants to shut it down, he can. And frankly, if Congress wants to shut it down, it can by defunding this illicit operation to not only jail Trump, but countless others. This is a search and destroy mission against the Republican Party. Let's be clear.
Well, you're right about that. I mean, they could shut it down if they want to. We've seen evidence of that with the Hunter Biden investigation. They want to shut that down. That's exactly what they did.